different instructions generated for the C statements. So to find the execution time, we need to consider instructions in great detail. That's the meaning of it. Okay. So this is same program where I'm calling on function. You can see with the different values applied to the variables, we're getting different assembly statements. Yeah. So tell me what is the answer for this question? No? Tell me which time parameters will be there in the interrupt in this mechanism of control passing to ISR. Can anybody tell? Yes. Yes, guys. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Tell me which timing parameters will come. See what I'm trying to say. There is a foreground task is nothing but the main function, and ISR, you know, the interrupt service routine. You want to pass the control to foreground task to ISR. What you're supposed to calculate in this question is the time complexity of interrupt call. Time complexity of interrupt call. That means when the control is there in the foreground task, that is, if the control is there in the main function, how much time CPU is taking to pass the control to interrupt service routine. That is called time complexity of interrupt call. Okay, so the foreground task, when interrupt is generated, okay, you know that, right? Before passing the control to interrupt service routine, the return address plus the context of the interrupted program must be saved. The context in the sense, some essential information of the interrupted program must be saved. Okay, so it will take certain amount of time. Later it has to fetch the address of the interrupt service routine. Once that is done, then program counter must be loaded, and then it will perform a jump to the target address of ISR. So these three operations are a must. Now time complexity of the given interrupt call is time it takes to perform these three operations. That is, time it takes to save the context, time it takes to fetch the address of the interrupt service routine, later time it takes to perform a jump operation to the interrupt call. Okay. Couple of questions are there. Please go through that. Okay, guys. I'm in slide number 52. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
So there are some coding standards are there in market. What I mean to say is, say there is one coding standard called MISRA C, MISRA, MISRA C. This is a coding standard for writing programs in C. That's why name is MISRA C. Like this, MISRA C++ is there. Okay, what this coding standard specifies is, they will give us certain guidelines or certain rules or regulations we are supposed to follow while writing the programs in C, that is MISRA C. What is the advantage of following those rules is the probability of bugs or errors in the codes will be less during execution. Why this very much important is, now if you take an example of automobiles, okay, in the automobiles many ECUs are used. ECU stands for electronic control unit, and when I say ECUs, there will be a program running on the ECU to perform the specified operation. Okay, so in the as these automobiles are becoming increasingly complex, there are many ECUs are used in the automobiles. Because of many ECUs, many millions of code will go into the automobiles. If this code is not properly written, the probability of bugs is more. Okay, to avoid these bugs, we are supposed to follow the coding standards. This is number one. Plus, if I am designing or producing a one product expected to be used in automobiles, and the customers of that particular product expect our code is written as per the some coding standards like MISRA C. They expect the designers or manufacturers or OEMs to produce the certificate that shows compliance of our application with respect to the coding standards. Okay, So MISRA C is one thing. MISRA C is applicable for almost all applications. So you know, automobile, there is a one ISO standard is there, that is IS, that is a standard IS 26262 standard. That means if I'm releasing any product to the automobiles, it should be obey that IS 26262 standard, software framework of IS 262 standard based on the MISRA C. I've taken a couple of examples. The examples is, look at the first example or first problem that arises because of software problems in the automobiles. So Mercedes-Benz call back 11 different models back to fix software problems affecting the speedometer and fuel gauge readings. That means, so after releasing the car to the market, after customer using that, the manufacturer, that's Mercedes-Benz, Mercedes realized that is a problem in the speedometer and the fuel gauge readings. So they want to rectify that error. To rectify that error, they took the cars back. This is called callback of the product from the market. So if the callback happens, then it's a huge revenue loss for the company, because many companies have ran into bankrupt because of the callback only. That's one case. A second case, we see Volvo recalls 18,000 cars after finding a side effects in airbag deployment. That means they realize that there's a problem in the airbag software. They wanted to rectify that, so that they took back 18,000 cars, okay, from the customers. Okay, they repair it and they give it back. So then this process of callback and giving back to the customers is a bigger revenue expense, and even though many companies have to spare lots of money on this. And there's one more thing, Toyota recalls more than 9 million vehicles due to number of software problems. This is one more major callback. I think it's the biggest callback in the history of the automobile. And recently, I think, which is that TVS, even TVS had called back the TVS iQube electric scooter because of the problem in that the scooter manufactured between September 2023 to March 2024, somewhere in this period, they're taking it back to rectify that. Okay, so problem is, they're supposed to identify the customer, they're supposed to take the vehicle back, and they have to get it repaired and give it back to customer. So this process is not only tedious, but also it's a big expensive process. So this is a revenue loss. So all these problems will happen because of the software. If you take care of the software, if you write the software following the certain coding guidelines, then these type of problems will not occur. That is a need for coding standards. Okay. So there's a MISRA C coding standard is there. So MISRA C in the presently market, MISRA C 2019 is there. There's nothing but the MISRA is one consortium between different companies. Different companies joined together and they framed certain coding standards, and those coding standards are put under the name called MISRA C. So in the market currently MISRA C 2019 is there, but a document is not available freely. We're supposed to pay to get it. There's MISRA C 2012 that is available for public use. So we can browse in the Google MISRA C 2012 coding standards. We'll get one PDF document that shows different rules we're supposed to follow to write the codes. Now can you tell me what is the problem in this code? Is one problem is there. This is not as per the MISRA C coding standard. What's the problem? Can you somebody tell? Yes?
Sir, what?
Huh? Come again?
Default syntax void.
Yeah. Yes. You see, the function is declared as int, whereas return status, the statement is commented. So it's a job of the compiler to decide whatever it is. I mean, compiler will decide in a random way. We don't know what compiler will treat. When there is no return value is there, no return statement is there, though the function is set to return some value. Okay, this is one of the violation of the MISRA C. I think even you must be knowing about goto statements in C programs. Goto. Even the MISRA C says goto should not be used, malloc should not be used. But the certain rules are there that says, okay, I think, yes, there, yes, see. Yeah, certain standards are there. Coder avoids these undefined, unspecified implementation defined behaviors, as seen in the next slide. So that's no return statement is there, but the function prototype says the return type is there. when it results in unspecified behavior, this type of behavior can be avoided. Constructs such as goto and malloc are not used. These are the Mishra C standards. Signed and unsigned values are not mixed. That means in a single expression, you are not supposed to mix up the signed and unsigned variable. And the code written in a particular type, for example, tab character is not used, something, an indentation. And if you see this code, even the int stated what is there. Okay, we are not supposed to make use of the data type name as it is. We need to make use of data types, clearly specifying what is the size of that data on a CPU. For example, if you know about this VLSI lab, that's what VLSI guys are doing. In that lab, we are making use of a data type called int32_t. We are not using int directly, rather we're using some data type like int32_t, where 32 indicate the size of that particular variable in bits on that particular machine. Okay, those type of certain guidelines are there that we are supposed to follow by writing the code. Okay, so there is one more thing is there. You can see this, what it says is, there is a Bosch sister company is there called LDRA. Bosch sister company called LDRA. So that company gives the tools to identify is there a violation of coding standards, anything as such. Okay, so you can browse in Google LDRA tool. Those tools are famously called as testing and validation tools. If I return a code, then I can put my code to see is there any violations or not. Then if any violations are there, those are highlighted in that tool. Then we can rewrite the code to correct those violations. In this example, we can see my array is declared at the size of 6. That is, it can take only 6 bytes. But while accessing that, your access going up to 6. You are accessing 7 elements. So array index is going out of bounds. In the normal C program, there is no default mechanism to check the array index going out of bounds. Okay. So these type of violations are identified using the Mishra C coding standards. These type of violations, this is one of the violations of the Mishra C coding standards, but that is detected using LDRA tool. Okay. So what you have to do is, so in the Google you browse Mishra C coding standard rules. Okay, you learn some 4 to 6 rules. Okay, so the question from this Mishra C is straightforward, only something like write some coding standards of Mishra C. Okay, so some Mishra C coding standards are there in the slides only. Apart from that, you want more information, please browse in the Google. Yes, can yeah? Are you able to understand, guys? Hello?
Yes, sir.
That's all from my side. So there is one more last slide is there. That last slide speaks about other coding standards. Okay, so if you get time, you browse in the Google to see what are these coding standards. There is CERT-C is also there. CERT CERT-C. Okay. Similarly, other coding, so there is a HIS coding standard is there, German automotive standard. So Neutrino coding standard is there, and LM train control program, one more coding standard is there. Okay, different coding standards for different applications. But remember, all these coding standards like HIS and Neutrino are built on the Mishra C only. Okay. Yeah. So that's all from my side. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Have any doubts, please let me know.
Sir, unit 3, sir, ಯಾವ type of question sir, unit 3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ sir, ಯಾವ type of questions expect ಮಾಡೋದು sir?
We are discussing
ಓಪನ್ ಬುಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಓಪನ್ ಬುಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಆ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಟ್ಯುಟೋರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾ ಸರ್?
ಏನು ಓಪನ್ ಬುಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ? No, see, one second, see, what is required to answer that question? Please mute your microphone. What is required to answer the question will be there in the question only. That means if ask you to write a BSP, ಒಂದು I2C SP ಏನಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು BSP ಬರೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ ಏನೇ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. Yes. You referred, ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್, ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ಯಾರು ಅದು VLSI ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ನೀವು?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಅದೇ ತರ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ರೆಡಿ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಕೂಡ, because same course, same subject, syllabus is same, only title is different. Yes or no? It's start in the same class and more or less question paper same ಇರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವೇನೋ, same pattern ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, not same pattern ಇರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂನಿಟ್ 3 ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ನೋಡಿ, ಅದೇ ತರ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ರೆಡಿ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಕೂಡ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಫ್ ಯು ರೀಡ್ ದಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಏನೇನ್ ಬೇಕದಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೈಮಿಂಗ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲರೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ,